What is up? So today, I'm sorry I said I was going to post the part 2 to the oversimplified Punic Wars reaction. I posted part 2 to the German Revolution, but that was inspired by oversimplified, made by things I care about. So yeah, today, this is pretty popular right now, so I thought I would take a look at it. You know, I'm trying to grow my channel. I love making these videos, but there's no point if I'm getting the views I'm getting. But I know that when you start your channel, you're going to get the views I'm getting. So I'm not that disappointed. I'm determined to put in work. So let's get into it. I'm going to change the camera real quick so you can see the screen better. I always put my camera on the left side of the screen, but if you want me to, I could do it over here on the right. I think for this we're going to be going on the right. And yeah, let's get into it. Oh yeah, let me turn my light on. I'm sorry about that. Okay, let's get into it.
Right about here, in Dallas, Texas, American President John F. Kennedy was assassinated on November 22nd, 1963. The accused assassin was a man named Lee Harvey Oswald. After being held in custody for less than 2 days, Oswald himself would meet a violent end. According to a subsequent investigation, Oswald had fired 3 rounds from the Texas schoolbook Depository. Police recovered 3 shell casings and a bolt-action rifle from the 6th floor of the building. But the shooting of Oswald sparked immediate suspicions of conspiracy.
My opinion on the conspiracy? Man, I don't know much about it. But, here, I'm sorry about this. I'm kind of short. This is better. Okay. I don't know much about it, but I think it was just Oswald. There's a chance. I'm not trying to spark anything. So, yeah.
Suspicions that persist to this day and have driven most Americans to reject the government's conclusion that Oswald acted alone. The arguments for and against conspiracy take many shapes and forms. Far too many, in fact, to do them all justice in a single video. Instead, in this video, I want to zoom in and focus on a very narrow slice of this case. Specifically, the events surrounding the Texas schoolbook Depository. What exactly happened inside this building from where the shots that killed the president are believed to have been fired.
I love the presentation of this. Absolutely amazing. Let me know. It sounds like let me know. I'm sorry.
In September of 1963, a young man named Wesley Frazier received a call from an employment agency. There was a potential job opening at the Texas schoolbook Depository. On September the 13th, Frazier made his way from Irving, Texas, down to central Dallas. He met with Roy Truly, the superintendent of the building, and was hired on the spot. Back in Irving, Frazier lived with his older sister, Lenny Randall.
Okay, it actually cut out. It's my bad. Let's get back into this. What I was saying is, think about this. Let me fix my camera real quick. I'm sorry. Think about this. 1, they were in the same neighborhood. That's already a chance. 2, they decided to have coffee that day. That's also another chance, adding on to the neighborhood. And then 3, they brought along Marina Oswald. And then 4, Frazier William got that, I don't know his name, got that job already. 4 things that had to take place in a row. The odds are astronomical, and it led to an assassination.
Of Lee Oswald. Marina could barely speak any English and had been staying with Payne for a few weeks, partly due to her husband's unemployment.
The subject of Lee looking for work and that he hadn't found work for a week came up while we were having coffee. And Mrs. Randall mentioned that her younger brother, Wesley Frazier, thought they needed another person at the Texas School Book Depository where Wesley worked.
Payne and Marina returned home, spoke with Roy Truly over the phone, and secured a job interview on behalf of Lee Oswald. The following morning, he went down to the book depository and began his first day of work on October the 16th. So, an acquaintance with whom Oswald's wife was currently staying had a casual conversation with a neighbor. That neighbor happened to have a brother who recently got employed at the book depository. This prompted his wife to ask the acquaintance to call the superintendent of the building to inquire about any vacancies.
Wow, so many things that had to take place.
I told Mrs. Payne that to send Oswald down, and I would talk to him, that I didn't have anything in mind for him of a permanent nature, but if he was suited, we could possibly use him for a brief time.
The position was not only temporary, but only existed due to a temporary shortage of staff.
It was the end of our fall rush. If it hadn't existed a week or 2 weeks longer, or if we had not been using some of our regular boys putting down this plywood floor, we would not have had any need for Lee Oswald at that time, which is a tragic thing for me to think about.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's another one of those things that had to take place. But it happened.
But it gets even more tragic because Oswald was not the only one to apply for a job.
I might have sent Oswald to work in a warehouse 2 blocks away. Oswald and another fellow reported for work on the same day, and I needed one of them for the depository building. I picked Oswald.
Look, he made a single decision that adds on to these already astronomical odds.
If Oswald was somehow entangled in a conspiracy, and the aim of that conspiracy was for him to become employed at the book depository, this roundabout sequence of events is a very strange way to go about it. As the name implies, the Texas School Book Depository was in the business of selling books. For $1.25 an hour, Oswald's job was to prepare the books for shipping. He did so by filling out forms and transporting cartons of books between the upper floors and the first. The building had 3 elevators, 2 staircases, and was 7 stories tall. In the northwest corner, 1 stairway and 2 freight elevators.
$1.25 an hour, that's crazy. Today minimum wage is around 8 times that, maybe more. I don't know what minimum wage is today, but last time I checked it was like 8.
Elevators provided access to all 7 floors. A small passenger elevator near the front.
But then inflation, I'm gonna look up inflation real quick. Okay, wow, I looked it up. It's same as minimum wage today, around it was $8.02
were connected by a second flight of stairs.
Back then.
Lacking a driver's license, Oswald relied on Wesley Frazier to carpool between Irving and Dallas every Friday evening and Monday morning. He spent workdays at a rooming house in Dallas while spending the weekends with his wife and daughters in Irving. But on Thursday morning, November the 21st, the day before the assassination, Oswald decided to deviate from this routine.
I was standing there on the first floor getting the orders in, and Lee said, "Could I ride home with you this afternoon?" And I said, "Sure, like I told you. You can go home with me anytime you want to. Like I say, anytime you want to go see your wife, that is all right with me." Lee had never gone home in the middle of the week before, so I asked him why, and he stated that he was going home to get some curtain rods for his apartment. I asked if he was going home on Friday as well, and he said no.
Frazier drove Oswald back to Irving, where he arrived unannounced at the household of Ruth Payne. Both Payne and Marina were surprised to see Oswald on a Thursday. They assumed he'd come to make amends with Marina due to an argument they had had a few days before.
Did your husband give any reason for coming home on Thursday?
He said that he was lonely because he hadn't come the preceding weekend, and he wanted to make his peace with me.
Was anything said about curtain rods or his taking curtain rods to town the following day?
No, I didn't have any.
He didn't say anything like that?
No.
The next day, Oswald said goodbye to his wife and left the Payne residence about 7:15. Atop a dresser in the bedroom, he left behind his wedding ring. Oswald was next seen walking down the street by Lenny Randall, carrying a package. He was soon joined by Fraser, and the two of them took a seat in his car to begin their commute.
When you got in the car, did you say anything to Oswald, or did he say anything to you?
I noticed there was a package lying on the back seat. I didn't pay too much attention, and I said, "What's the package, Lee?" And he said, "Curtain rods." And I said, "Oh yes, you told me you were going to bring some today."
Not only was Oswald carrying a large package, but he'd forgotten to bring a lunch bag.
When he rode with me, I say he always brought lunch, except that one day on November 22nd. He didn't bring his lunch that day. Right when I got in the car, I asked him where was his lunch, and he said he was going to buy his lunch that day.
They arrived in Dallas a few minutes before 8 o'clock. Typically, they would walk together from the parking lot to the book Depository. But on this particular Friday, Oswald grabbed his curtain rods and rushed ahead into the building.
Wow,
Working on the ground floor, in view of the rear entrance, was their colleague, Jack Doherty.
Did you see Oswald come to work that morning?
Yes, when he first came into the door.
Did he have anything in his hands or arms?
Well, not that I could see of.
Fraser and Doherty are the only two people known to have seen Oswald entering the building. Fraser says he was carrying a package, Doherty says he was not. Contradictions like this one will become a recurring theme throughout the rest of this video. We'll take a closer look at the missing curtain rods in a later chapter, but for now, let's stay with Oswald.
Okay, that's gonna be it for today. I'll post the next part. I'll probably do 2 chapters each. Tomorrow I'll probably do 3 or 4. And we'll finish this eventually. I'll see you guys maybe today, maybe tomorrow. Thank you for watching.